If you are noticing thinner, fragile skin, if you're noticing sensitive red skin, or if you are noticing crepiness, especially if it's due to dehydration, then I think today's video topic is going to be really, really interesting for you. We are going to go over a skincare ingredient that can improve all of those things and that can be found in amazingly affordable, wonderful products. So what is this ingredient? It's actually known as an extremolite, which is such a weird term. It's actually a special molecule that bacteria create to survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. So think about salt lakes, deserts, even bubbling hot springs. So you can picture a little tiny bacterium in the middle of the scorching desert. In order to survive, it can't just wander around unprotected. Instead, it builds itself a little bubble tent, like a microscopic shield filled with water that keeps it from drying out, it keeps it from overheating, it keeps it from being damaged by UV rays. So Ectoin is the molecule that makes that bubble tent even possible. And so the really cool thing is that scientists realized maybe it can also help protect our skin cells from the daily extremes that we face, like the sun and pollution and heat and even the stress that comes with just aging. First of all, it can help to support our barrier, and we all know that that's super duper important. For everything else to happen, we have to have a healthy barrier. It also, and this is probably the biggest one, and it ties into everything else, is it organizes water molecules around your cells, almost like that hydration bubble wrap that cushions and locks in moisture, so it's good for hydration. It is also anti-inflammatory, and it can also help to support the skin after treatments. So everybody obviously does not need everything. So let's talk about what skin concerns it can actually help with. Redness and sensitivity, definitely. And that makes it really ideal for people with rosacea, with reactive skin, or with irritation from treatments like retinoids or acids. It also can be amazing for dryness and dehydration. So it binds water molecules around the cells like that bubble wrap, and that improves hydration, it improves barrier resilience. It's almost like a moisture cocoon. It also can help with UV and pollution damage. And then it can help, it's kind of indirect, but it can help with fine lines and dullness because it protects and it energizes our mitochondria. And so it indirectly supports healthier cell turnover, healthier collagen maintenance. Obviously, it helps with that barrier function, that glow, that bounce, all of those things. So what improvements would you expect if you incorporate it into your skincare routine? You could expect calmer skin, so less redness, less stinging or burning sensations, faster recovery after you get a procedure like a peel, microneedling, lasers. You could expect to be more hydrated, skin to look a little bit more plump, so it can plump up the look of lines. Skin would feel less tight and dry. You would literally notice a visible improvement in the smoothness of your skin pretty immediately. It can help to even out complexion. That's because of the way that it helps your skin respond to stress. And so your skin is better able to handle some of that so it doesn't end up hyperpigmented. It can be more even toned. And then it can also have more of a long-term resilience. So over time, the skin can actually become less reactive to triggers like weather changes, pollution, stress, all that kind of stuff. So who would actually benefit the most? I think that women around my age, 40, 50, 60 and on, will definitely benefit greatly because we have thinner skin, drier skin, we have more fragile skin, we can be more sensitive, we can be more redness prone, we can have rosacea, all of those things. The cool thing is it's super duper gentle, and clinical studies show that it is safe up to 7%. Even in kids. There are literally no contraindications that I could find anywhere. Obviously, you should always patch test anyway, especially if you're really, really sensitive. And if you're pregnant or if you're nursing, you should always check in with your provider. Otherwise, honestly, it's one of the easiest ingredients to just add into a routine. So the percentages that you want to look for, most formulas are going to be 0.3% to 2%, which is plenty to see benefits. But if you see a product that is 5 to 7%, that's usually like a product that is for post-procedure or it's a booster. You don't always need the max strength, but it is nice to know that those higher concentrations actually exist so that if your skin is extra stressed or if you have a condition, those are the ones that you might want for that specifically. Now, there are studies, and one study found that 2% significantly improved hydration and elasticity. Another study showed that it sped up recovery after a CO2 laser, like sped up the recovery, which that's a really long recovery to begin with. The redness went down faster and the barrier repaired more quickly. And I think the most important thing is that 7% has been tested and there were no side effects. So it's just a really safe, easy ingredient to incorporate into a skincare routine. So how would you work it into your skincare routine? Super duper flexible. You can use it in the morning, you can use it at night. I like to use it in the morning because I feel like it adds that extra shield of protection from the elements, but also I feel like it gives me a little bit more of a hydrated glow to my dry skin. I feel like some formulas are better for daytime, and those are usually the up to 2%. And then other formulas that are higher, that 5 and that 7%, they are perfect for nighttime or specific skin situations. So specific, disruption in your skin, like an eczema flare or a specific redness, that kind of thing. So I want to give you some product recommendations. They are all super duper affordable. Some of them you're going to recognize because I've had them for a long time. And we're going to go from the lowest percentage to the highest percentage. So the first one is going to be the Prequel Multi-Quench. Now this one, I think this is my third bottle of this one. I love this serum so much. I would even say this is probably my favorite hydrating serum that I own. This has been in my routine anytime I need it. Anytime I feel like I need an extra dose of hydration, I need a little bit more glow. I love it during the day. It immediately makes your skin look more beautiful. It has multiple weights of polyglutamic acid. Now, polyglutamic acid is already this incredible humectant that is even more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. So this is just a gorgeous thin serum that I feel like just soaks right into your skin, immediately makes your skin look better, plays well with everything else. I've never had it pill or anything like that. It feels high end and it's $28. All right, moving on up in percentages, the next one that we have is the ABIB. This is kind of like a gel cream moisturizer. So this would go on in the moisturizer step. And the reason why somebody might pick this one out of all of these is that panthenol is vitamin B5, and that, especially at 10%, is incredibly soothing. This could be a perfect swap if you are somebody who has redness sensitivity and you're dehydrated especially, and you would like to have a new daytime moisturizer. This might be a really, really good swap because it's going to help to soothe the skin with that panthenol, and it should help with redness and with stressed skin. So this one would be a really good daytime moisturizer for people who have skin sensitivity, redness, and dehydration. So that's the ABIB 11% moisturizer. So that's a really good one too. And you get 1.7 ounces, I believe. And I have to look up the price. I'll put it up here, but it's pretty affordable as well. Now, moving up in percentages, the next one is going to be the Inky List. Now, this is where the daytime products stop for me. These are the ones that are all good. The last two plus this one would be the ones that I would choose for during the day. And then the last two I'm going to tell you about are nighttime, they're boosters, or they're specific situational products. This is the Inky List Ectoin Hydro Barrier Serum. This is also a gel cream moisturizer slash serum. It is a little thinner than the ABIB, but it's definitely thicker than just a regular old serum. It's like a gel cream serum. And this one is really nice because it's got a bunch of different humectants in there. It has some really fantastic barrier supporting ingredients in there. It's almost like the thicker cousin of the Prequel. It's really, really emollient and just a little bit thicker. I will say that I do feel like you can tell that it's on the skin more than this one. I feel like the Prequel soaks right into the skin, leaves you with this really beautiful, refined, hydrated skin that looks glowy and immediately more full of life. This one is a little bit more, it's just thicker. So I feel like it sits on the skin just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, but it's still beautiful and it's still definitely wearable during the day. And the ingredient deck is absolutely stacked, especially at the price point that we get the Inky List. So those are the three that I would recommend for during the day for different people. So it just kind of depends on what would fit in to your specific skincare routine. And the way that this fits in for me is just in my serum step. So I'm cleansing, I'm using an alpha hydroxy acid on some days, I'm using an essence or, you know, some kind of a mist or an essence or something like that. Then I'm in my serum step and I just decide how to stack my serums in that step. That is where this goes in during the day for me. Now, have I used it at night? Yes, of course I've used it at night too, but I really, really like it during the day the most. Okay, so now on to the two that I think are more situational and or they're good for at nighttime. So we have Prequel. Now this is almost like a cream slash salve to me. I think that this one is great for at nighttime. This would be great for an eczema flare. It does have some urea in it, so it's going to really help with eczema. It's going to help with reactive skin, and I think that it would be fantastic if you have real sensitivity in your skin. You need a treatment. This would also be great post-procedure. Of course, that would be another thing you want to talk to your practitioner to ask when and how to incorporate in a post-procedure product. But like on the next day on of a procedure, after a procedure, this could be a fantastic skincare soother for a treated skin, you know, a laser treatment or something like that. So it is a thick cream and it definitely forms a film and goes to work. It is so packed with humectants. Another thing that I think that this one is really nice for, and I kind of figured this out as I was playing around with all this stuff for this video, is if you have really, really dry, crepey skin on your hands, this makes for a beautiful back of the hand treatment anytime. I mean, like I'm thinking I'm gonna just leave this sitting in my office and put it on the back of my hands regularly because it doesn't bother me at all. I don't feel like it leaves a sticky residue, but dang, it definitely almost puts this shield onto the skin and immediately makes the back of my hands look better because it's so hydrated, you know. It also actually has in here allantoin. So that is a soothing ingredient that's going to be really, really great for those reactive skin situations. So for an eczema flare or something like that, allantoin can be really, really helpful and really soothing. So this is fantastic. Now it's not a huge tube, but you do not need a lot. It doesn't take a lot of this. It spreads, like really spreads, and does its job without slathering it on. Okay, now the last one, and you may have seen this around because I feel like this particular serum has been making it out into social media a bunch, and it is the Paula's Choice 7% Booster. Now this is in a little bottle. It's a 0.67 ounce bottle, so under an ounce, and it is the highest percentage out of all of these. They're calling it a booster, so you can add just a little bit to something else, some other serum to boost it to get a little bit more hydration if you wanted to, especially if it's another hydrating serum. You could also use just a little bit of this straight out of the bottle to hydrate your skin deeply. Now for me personally, this would be a nighttime thing. I have super dry skin and I felt like when I put this on in the morning, it didn't make me look greasy or anything like that. Felt like something that would be better at night. It's very, very hydrating. And this one also does have other really fantastic barrier supportive ingredients in there. It's got a bunch of other fantastic ingredients that are gonna really nourish the skin and help it to recover, especially if it's reactive, sensitized, or you got something going on, or if you're really, really dehydrated. This could be something to fit into your nighttime routine. Easily slides in, doesn't mess with anything else you're doing. You're gonna fit it in right in that serum step, or you're gonna cocktail it with another hydrating serum to give it a boost of humectants, and that's it. Like it isn't something that is going to take place of something else. It's not going to interfere with anything else. None of these are going to do that. They're just that added thing if any of those things apply to you. Crepiness, dehydration, sensitivity, rosacea, eczema. even at the lower percentages, you are going to get some results as far as rehydration, glow, bounce to the skin, and better barrier function. So to me, it's one of those ingredients. I think we're gonna see it everywhere. I think it's gonna start being in ingredient decks all the time, anytime, especially into hydrating ingredient or hydrating products, because it's one of those ingredients that really packs a punch quickly. You see the results very, very quickly because your skin is immediately rehydrated, protected, and a little bit more resilient and less reactive. All right, you guys, I hope you're having the most wonderful day. I hope that you learned something today, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.